Is it better to rent or to buy your own home? This is one of the questions that I usually get from friends whenever they visit me here in my new home. For today's video, I will be sharing with you some thought process that I personally have when it comes to buying, renting, or leasing a home. Hey, this is your financial coach. I blissfully create videos on personal finance, self-development, and intentional living. And today's video is all about intentional living. Are you supposed to buy, rent, or lease your first property? Pag-usapan natin yan. If you want to know the reason why I moved out, you can check my previous video. I'll link it here. And kinuwento ko dyan kung bakit ko naisipan biglang bumili ng bahay and bakit ako nag-move out and just the whole story of how I ended up moving out and living solo. But upon acquisition, renovation, moving into my new home, I realized a lot of things that I think aren't popularly discussed online. Hindi ko pa siya, I guess, nabasa or nakita, and these are all my first-hand experience and what I always tell my coaches or my friends who also want to start investing in their own home or want to move out of their parents' house and want to start living solo. The intention of this video is to guide you on whether it's time for you to buy or rent or lease your home. Just a disclaimer, I will be sharing my personal thoughts on these things, but at the same time, of course, before I moved in, before I bought my own property, I actually did my research. Pero there were a lot of realizations, there were a lot of factors even after I did that. So I'm sharing all the things I know about this, and hopefully this can help you also decide if it's time for you to buy or to rent your own property. Let's start by differentiating buying, renting, and leasing. Okay? Buying means investing in a property. Ibig sabihin sa'yo na, no? You're acquiring the property. You have full rights to it. Investing in your own home or your property means it's a long-term investment. It's appreciating. You can do whatever you want in this property. You are responsible for the real estate property tax. And of course, you are also responsible for the maintenance of your own home. Okay? On the other hand, the difference between renting and leasing is renting is short-term, no? Leasing is more long-term. So, let's say, 6 months to 1 year. So, usually, ganun kahaba ang leasing. But in this video, I will be talking about renting and leasing ng isa lang. Kasi it's basically the same. Ang pinagkaiba lang ay length of staying in that specific property that you're gonna rent or lease or live in. Okay, so some things about renting and leasing, it's short term. Your contract will depend on how long you plan to stay in that specific property. So you can move anytime you want, no, anywhere you want to after your contract. Kapag nagsawa ka, you can also change your location. It's not an investment. You're not required to pay for real estate property tax. Maintenance is usually care of the property owner or the lessor. Sometimes there are also property for condominiums that association dues are also part of what you're paying for. So, hindi mo na kailangan siyang isettle. For me, renting and leasing a home could be a start for you to see and try if kaya mo bang mag-move out, kaya mo bang mag-live independently. For this video, I have 5 points for you. The first one is the purpose of your investment. Number 2 is the price and liquidity. So let's talk about your finances. Number 3 is your lifestyle, okay? What type of lifestyle will suit you? Number 4 is location. So where would you be investing? Number 5 is your maintenance and repairs. Let's start. As always, the first one is purpose, diba? I always ask this, especially if you're one of my finance coaches. You know that the first thing I ask is really the purpose of your investment. Same with talking about properties. Important that your purpose is very clear, which means, bakit mo ba gustong mag-invest in a property? Is it for you to move in that property? Is it for long-term investment? Is it, let's say, you want to rent it out or lease it for passive income on your end? Do you just want to flip it? You have to be very clear on the purpose of your property because that will determine where, how much, what type of property you would be buying. Ang dami ng questions. Let's say, no, you just plan to try out moving out and living on your own. So, you can start with just renting. No? Check mo muna, kaya ba talaga ng monthly mo? So, ask yourself, maybe if you're watching this, you're still not clear, maybe write it down, no? Ano ba yung main purpose? Bakit mo gustong bumili ng bahay? Why are you watching this video? Why are you intending to invest in a home or rent a home or move out of your house? So, once you're clear with that, then you can identify, is it a short-term or long-term decision that you want to make. Anong pinagkaiba? Short term kasi pwede kang palipat-lipat. I see myself living here in my condominium for the next maybe 3 to 5 years. Long term siya. Right now, that's what's clear to me na condominium muna because hindi ko pa nga alam kung ano ba talaga yung gusto ko sa bahay tsaka kaya ko na ba talaga yun, no? Kung short term ka naman, you can look for a place to rent or look for a place that you can lease for at least 6 months or 1 year. Mas madali kapag ka short term lang yung mga contracts mo. Just to give myself as an example, what I really considered is, again, seeing myself living here for the next 3 to 5 years. And if not, no, if I decide to acquire another property or move in a different place, in a different location, then I can rent this out. Kaya din ni-renovate ko siya, no? Ask others to live here, no? Pwede naman yon. So it will be also a passive income for me. So right now, it's not really an investment per se because I'm living here. Ibig sabihin, wala akong kinikita while I'm living here. But in the future, no, I see this as either a place that I can stay in here in the city if I decide to move in the province, or number 2, I can rent this out. So, ibig sabihin, may kinikita ako dito sa property na to eventually. Number 2, let's talk about price and liquidity. Actually, kanina, iniisip ko yung word kung liquidity ba or liquidability. Liquidability kasi how able is your finances to pay for the property. No? What's your budget? Importante that you specify your budget if you plan to buy, to rent, or to lease a home. Kasi dyan talaga nagde-depend yung titignan mo. Siyempre, if you filter out mo yan, no, kapag tumingin ka online, the 2 things that I did is to specify how much money can I shell out if ever I'm gonna buy, and how much money can I shell out, how much cash do I have if ever I'm gonna rent. So, importante that you set your budget. Bakit ko in-add din yung liquidity? If you plan to buy a property, importante na liquid ka. Walang nagsabi sa akin ito before, and I hope someone did. Kung katulad ko ikaw na hindi naman nag-bank loan, then you have to pay for a big amount of down payment. Syempre, no? Especially if you're getting kahit anong property na ngayon, medyo malaki ang down payment. It ranges between 10 to 25%. Ang usual talaga, 20% of the property cost, yun yung ida-down payment mo. So, bakit ko sinasabing dapat liquid ka, madami kang cash? Kasi, kapag ka-move-in mo, hindi naman yan automatic na may gamit na lang, no, pagdating mo. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo din mag-invest in things which will require you a lot of cash, no? Kahit credit card pa gamitin mo, babayaran mo pa rin siya. So, importante that you're very liquid, ready ka for all the expenses. It's important that you identify the price of the property that you can cover. Then, plan backwards. Magkano ba yung down payment mo? Magkano ba yung magiging monthly amortization mo? Or, in my case, yung monthly na binabayaran ko for the property. Of course, you have to also consider budgeting for your monthly living expenses. Also, no, importante that you know the price and that you're liquid because if you don't have a good credit line, baka mahirapan kang ma-approve ng loan ng bangko. So, which means, no, kailangan mo mag-shell out ng money if you really want to buy the property. You need upfront cash if you plan to do a down payment. Just like me, yun din yung ginawa ko, no? Nagbayad agad for the property para mapunta sa akin, ma-award sa akin yung property. If you're renting, on the other hand, what do you need, no? For renting, you need at least 1 month deposit, 2 months advance. Ibig sabihin, you're not just gonna pay for the current rent for this month, pero may mga cash advance payment ka pa. So if you're renting, you don't need to have so much cash when it comes to paying for a big amount of money for the down payment, diba? One of the pros for me of renting and leasing is that hindi ka tali to pay for that for your whole life, or kung ano man yung terms and conditions. Like for me, it's may few years na kailangan bayaran ako monthly, required for my amortization. So for renting, hindi yan, no? So kung let's say 3 months ka lang, 3 months ka lang, if namahalan ka masyado, hindi mo kinaya, you can move to a different place, and then you can move out and change your space. Hindi ka required to pay for a specific amount while you're renting, no? So, after your contract of rent or lease, then you can change kung magkano na. You can either look for a higher or a lower place to stay in. Number 3 is lifestyle, no? In buying a property, it's important that you buy a property that's aligned to your lifestyle. So for example, for me, I travel a lot. So I go to both the north and south and even the airport, no? And I'm happy because the location that I got or yung property na nakuha ko, malapit both sa NLEX and Skyway going to airport and the south. So, aligned siya sa lifestyle ko. Number 2 is yung property na nakuha ko, may gym, may outside locations where I can work out, I can run, meditation and yoga outside, which is katapat ko lang po yung basketball court and yung mini court where I actually do most of my workouts. Nakikita niyo yan, nagmo-Muay Thai ako. I invite my coach here. May space ako to do that. As a person na hindi kayang ma-cooped up so much in a place, in a room, at hindi mapakali, importante sa akin na meron kahit pa paanong fresh air na pumapasok. So, I chose a property with a lot of windows, with 2 balconies, because in my lifestyle, again, as a plantita, as someone who loves fresh air, I need that. So again, look for a property that will be aligned to your lifestyle. It really depends on you. Ako personally, I work a lot at home. So importante din na malaki yung space ko, no? Kasi gusto ko pag nag-work ako, iba yung place ko for eating, iba yung place ko for sleeping. So hindi ako pwede sa maliit na place. Parang ganon. You have to identify the type of lifestyle that you have so that you will buy and look for the property aligned to your specific lifestyle. Kung paano ba yung day-to-day activities mo. If you're renting or leasing, on the other hand, importante that it fits your current lifestyle. Why am I saying current lifestyle? Kasi if you're planning to do it short-term lang, hindi mo pa sure, no? You have to list it out and look for a property that has all the amenities that can fit your lifestyle and is close location-wise to the type of lifestyle that you want. So again, whether you're buying or renting, it's important that you list down the type of lifestyle that you have. What do you do on a daily basis? What's your morning or daily routine look like? Where do you work? Is it work from home setup or you go to work? Then match it to that, no? I-check mo ano yung mas aligned based on your list. Number 4 is location. This is one of the most crucial parts of choosing your property. When you're buying a property, for me personally, what I considered is near our home. So sobrang lapit ko lang. I'm 3 to 5 minutes away from our home. Simply because I'm really close to my family. Medyo needy ako as a daughter. Yes, mom. So, gusto ko malapit ako. It's important that you're precise when it comes to the location of where you want to stay. If in the city, no, you have to be as specific as Makati, BGC, Ortigas, Quezon City. So, para na-filter out mo agad yung place na pag-stayan mo or yung bibilin mo na property. If you're renting naman alone, you should check if you're going to work every day, check mo na lang yung malapit sa work mo para makatipid ka sa transportation cost. Or if hindi possible, then look for friends who can, or workmates who can share the place with you para hati kayo sa rent, no? So, importante that you're clear with the location of where you want to stay para alam mo kung is it near or far the places you want to go to. Number 5, and the most important that I think no one talked about in videos that I've seen, is the maintenance and repairs, no? If you're buying a home, no, bumili ako ng property na meron ng pre-owned na siya, so may tumira na dito for the past 10 years. That's why I decided to have it renovated. And amount-wise, syempre malaking cash siya, no? I mentioned earlier that you have to be liquid, especially if you're gonna be renovating your place big time like I did. And of course, you also have to consider that when you're in a condominium, meron tayong tinatawag na bond fee, no? May kailangan kang bayarang bond fee bago ka mag-start ng renovation. Engineers will actually check all the renovation before mo makuha yung bond fee mo pabalik. You also have to consider that may limitations when it comes to buying, let's say, a condo. So, like for me, naging limitations yung mga wirings, hindi ko maayos, yung mga drop ceiling, hindi lahat pwedeng gawin. Parang all of these things we have to consider if you're buying a property. So, I would consider it a big renovation for my type of lifestyle. But at the same time, very minimal lang kasi nagpintura, nagpalit ng toilet, mga ganun lang naman yung ginawa. Baka kasi may limitations dun sa property na pipili mo. Especially if you're staying in a condo, madaming limitations. So, check mo baka mas okay sa'yo ang bahay. So, for example, my sister got their own house. And grabe rin yung gagastusin nila for the renovation even if kanila na yun. Another thing about buying your own property is that ikaw na lahat bahala sa maintenance and repairs, no? Just kanina, parang kala ko nasira yung water dispenser ko. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, papaayos ko siya. Therefore, ikaw din yung responsible with its maintenance and repairs. With the renting naman, the pros is you can actually rent a place that is semi-furnished or fully furnished, which means yung repairs niyan, maintenance niyan will not be on you but actually with the homeowner, even the house itself, no? May mga narerentahan na lugar na you can actually request for them to repaint it first, to change, let's say, the bed, to add a heater, may mga ganong pwede kang request, and you're not gonna shell out money. That's the pros of it. But the cons, very limited lang din yung pwede mong gawin. Usually, hindi ka pwedeng magbutas, pwede ka lang magdikit, no? Hindi ka pwedeng pa-renovate ng sobra because alam mong nag-rent ka lang and then it will be short term. So, sayang naman if you're gonna spend, let's say, on tiles. But what I could say is that if you are very liquid, then go ahead, do all the maintenance, all the repairs, all the renovation that you want. But if you're not, it's gonna be hard for you to do all of these things. Kasi while you're buying or you're moving into your new place, whether you bought a place or you're renting, you have to keep buying appliances, furnitures that you would need for your house, your new property to be your own home. Especially if you're living in that property. So, importante that you identify talaga all of these 5 para you know what type of property is meant for you. Ako, personally, ito yung mga naging factors of why I bought this property. But at the same time, yung 5th one, yung maintenance and repairs, no one told me about it. And I'm the one telling you kasi it costs a lot. And you have to prepare for it mentally, emotionally, even financially. So, I wanna end this video by saying that you shouldn't be pressured to buy, to invest in your own home if you're still not ready, especially with the factors that I just said, yung mga shinare ko sa inyo. Hopefully, this video will help you decide if you're gonna buy or you're just gonna rent for now. But rest assured, whatever your decision is, it will depend on you. Don't be pressured around the people you're with, or don't be pressured with what you watch or what you see on social media. Just choose the right one for you. Again, as I always say, be very intentional when you buy something or when you decide on things. Intentional living is the way to go. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos weekly. Of course, if may natutunan kayo dito or if may other factors pa kayong kinonsider before you actually acquired your own property, or if may questions kayo for me, just comment them down below because I personally answer them. See you on the next video. Bye!